We have to stop the rat race. We have to stop trying to aim for work-life balance, and we have to find a way to find coherence or integration between our life, the real world, and our work. If you're failing at work, your home life is going to suffer. Your personal life is going to suffer. If you're struggling at home, you got family issues, you got marital issues, whatever, your work life and personal life is going to suffer. And if your health goes to shit, everything is going to suffer.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to Authentic Hustle episode 39. 39. And welcome, guys. I'd like to introduce my co-host. Meet Colin Harms, the best realtor in all of Lethbridge, Alberta, the visionary of Hypervac, and an amazing human being and a blue sky thinker. So meet Colin Harms, and meet my another co-host, lovely Kelly Kennedy, the best business development podcast host, who has done like 1,000 episodes and more. He has a lot of content going on. So the Signal Awards winner recently, so amazing things going on. The founder of Catalyst Club, and a lot more. Kelly, what else are you doing? So amazing things that he does every single time. So proud to be doing the show with you. I'm Vijay. I'm the founder of Zadwell. Lovely to meet you all. So let's get into the show, guys.
Let's go. Amazing. Yeah, no, man, appreciate you guys. Definitely a little more than I've done. I think I'm sitting somewhere around, if we factor in Authentic Hustle, I think I'm somewhere around 320 shows. 325, somewhere in there. Like... But maybe one day 1,000. We'll see. I interviewed Jim Harold for the show this week. And man, like just an awesome experience. For those of you who don't know who Jim Harold is, he is literally like the OG of paranormal podcasting. He is literally the guy who started the idea of paranormal podcasts. And he's been doing it for 20 years, Vijay, 20 years. Over 3,000 episodes, if you factor in everything that he's done to date, which was like mind-blowing. It was super cool. It was literally like interviewing my podcast hero. But long way to go before I can say I have 3,000 episodes under my belt.
Shout out to Jim Harold. Yeah. Go watch that episode.
Yeah.
Go watch that episode.
Pretty awesome. But yeah, you know what? I think I just kind of want to be a little bit real this week. I know we were kind of talking before the show about like, do we want to spend some time on like spin the wheel this week, or do we just want to like talk about life? Because I know Colin's been going through some shit. I know I've been going through some shit. Probably if I weigh the odds here, Vijay is probably going through some shit too. So it just kind of feels like one of those weeks where I just kind of want to get real with everyone. Yeah, it's been a tough week, man. Like I got a call last week from my sister basically saying, hey, emergency, a place has come open for our dad. Our dad has been battling dementia for a couple of years. Honestly, I had no idea like how bad it had gotten until I spent like a whole day with him, moving him into this new place. And it was just like, it was a little bit heartbreaking because we'd be sitting down and we'd be explaining to him, Dad, we're moving you to a new facility. You're going to have people who can look after you all the time. And like just watching the man who you looked up to your whole life essentially just become a shell of themselves. And it's been a hard week from that standpoint where it's like he would like acknowledge like, okay, like it feels like I'm moving. It feels like I'm moving and I really don't want this. And it's like, oh man, it's hard. It's really freaking hard right now. And then on top of that, we have like family in town and people are starting to kind of go through his things and decide maybe what they want. Yeah, man, getting old sucks. Let's just start there.
You know what, Kelly? It's a great, not great topic, but great because you bring it up and it's real. I had a situation last week. We might as well just get real here, get authentic. My parents had a dryer in their house, crap the bed. And so I said, you know what? I've got one. Just because of the properties and whatnot, I can get it taken care of, put it in there. Got some help, went over there when they weren't home. And my dad suffered a few strokes a few years ago and triple bypass surgery, heart surgery. Wow. And so he doesn't have great use of the left side of his body. So I'm like, I'm no problem, right? I go and I help, I do what I have to do. That was all fine. I think it was kind of like it hit me when you just said what you did about you didn't realize how bad things were, what was happening. I went there in the early evening to do it, and I went into his garage, and all I needed was a drill. And I know he was a carpenter before. I know he had a drill, He has tools. And it really, like, it hit me right in the forehead when I looked. all his tools are there. Everything's there. He literally physically cannot remove a door by himself from the hinges and take it off. And so at that moment, I felt gracious that I was able to be in a position to do this and make it happen. But at the same time, I'm not joking. I started counting the years. I was like, that could be me in 30 years if at his age. And it made me sad for him. And I went home and I told my wife too. I said, I'm just really sad that I saw that and everything's stuck in time in his garage. Here's where it was when he used it last. Hasn't moved. And my mom does this thing where she labels everything. This is for my whole life. Like your lunch bag's labeled Colin's lunch. And no shit. I'm the only one eating it. Got it. But it's like drill bits. It's like drill. And she did that before. And it just brought a lot of nostalgia but some sadness there. Right. It was kind of like, man, like this is real life. And then I looked at everything going on around politically, teacher strike and even greater politically the world, the position we're in. And I'm like, none of that really matters. Right? None of that really matters. What matters is right in front of us and what we're dealing with. Yeah. And so kind of timely, I did notice your sister had mentioned something about what was going on. And so I knew that too. And you know what? I apologize. I should have reached out even with a text. I didn't. But I think that's where we need to be there for each other more than we are. Even so, right? No one it's one thing for me to go through some shipping and tariff stuff at business. That life goes on, right? That comes and goes. But the real authenticity of real life, once it's gone, right?
Well,
some things you can't just pick up.
Yeah. Like I find myself, and I know you guys get there too, but I find myself getting just like so deep into my work, right? Like it's like I can isolate myself in such a way where it's like, okay, I'm just focused on what I'm building or what I'm doing or what comes next here. And then you just completely forget that like outside of this, there's an entire world going on. There's people, there's family aging, there's, people getting sick, people living life, people having fun. And you can just end up in this entrepreneurial, locked in, going in this direction. And it's great. Like you're very productive. You're doing a lot of things, but you might be missing out on a lot of the things that really matter in life, like those relationships that, you're not going to get back. Yeah. Vijay, it's tough, man.
I can see stuff rolling around in your head there.
No, this is a very personal topic. Actually, I mean, I honestly, I don't like you said, I don't like this topic, but it's a very personal topic. It's I don't know. It's very, very difficult. So there was 2-3 years ago. I was driving back from a place. I was in India at the time, and my dad is the one who taught me how to drive a car. Right, since 17, 18, and he was at one. He drives. He has driven all over the country. He drives everything, anything and everything. Right, he's an amazing driver of vehicles. He had so many vehicles. So we were late in the evening, or it was around like 6-7 p.m. in the dark, and he said like, I'm finding it difficult to drive these days in the evening. He told me that, and I'm glad he's doing okay. Otherwise, he's okay, healthy, but he told me he couldn't see. Actually, his vision is getting and things like that. He couldn't drive late in the evening. So I picked it up. So we were doing an overnight drive to reach home. Yeah. So we spent the entire couple of days, and I took over, and it made me think a lot that moment. And recently, both my mom and dad are getting a cataract surgery. So they're getting their eyes operated where their eyes are actually a layer. So they have to do a laser operation and get it done. So they're getting old. Yeah. Every time I think about them, I don't know. I don't know what to react, because one thing is I cannot stop time. They're getting older. I'm getting older as well, but I don't know. I am chasing something, and they are in their life. I wish I could drop everything and just go be there with them. It's a personal topic to me, man. Like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, yeah. And your parents aren't in Canada, right?
They're not in Canada.
Yeah.
So the biggest challenge Grace and I have is like we just have 3 of us. Like it's just us. We have some friends and family in Toronto and other place, but right here where we are, for all good decisions, the good things that comes with us is great, but we don't have the family here with us, so that's really painful. When things are going great, it's okay, but when things are not, life. As you all know, it doesn't go as like a straight path, right? So those days are really challenging, and especially not without the family, it's extremely hard.
It's been a really interesting week from the standpoint of is that usually I fill my weeks with like so much stuff, right? And even yesterday and today, like I had to drop everything. I had to clear my calendar. I had to go and help, pack up an entire apartment, basically go through dad's lifelong belongings for the most part. Like I said, there's always trying to be organization. I know my sister's trying to be very like meticulous about it. There were certain things that were like tucked aside, but a lot of the family was just like, oh, I want this, I'm taking it. And suddenly it's just like, holy shit, like the moment he is out, the moment he is like, people are just going through his stuff, right? And so suddenly it became oh no, I need to like actually be there or I'm not going to get pieces of dad's memories.
Mm-hmm.
And so suddenly it kind of just became this like crazy, like I need to like clear my week. Like this is pretty much, I told you guys last night, I was working really hard. The Jim Harold show was really important to me. The guy's literally one of my heroes. And the audio editing didn't go well. Like honestly, how could it have? I was rushed. And so literally last night, by the time I got back, and it was late, guys, like by the time I got back last night, it was probably like 8, 9 o'clock. We're going to be right back at it the moment the show is done. The moment I got back last night, I realized that the audio edit that I'd put together didn't go well. And you know me, I'm going to put out a show come hell or high water. And so I worked literally till midnight last night just to get a proper show out and right back at it tomorrow, right? But like, it throws a wrench. Life throws a wrench in every once in a while. And it sucks because I think as entrepreneurs, and I'm really speaking to you guys and our leaders out there listening, we don't make space for life's events. We don't.
No, we don't.
Usually what ends up happening is this big life event comes in and suddenly you're like, shit, I didn't plan for this. Now I have to rearrange everything to kind of make this work. And it's so funny because you guys know inside Catalyst Club, we have a member, Stephen Langer. He's a public speaker, thought leader, really talks about coherence. That's his thing. Live a life of coherence. And he actually asked me to read the pre-release copy of his book and write a review for it. And at the time, as much as like I like reading books, I struggle with interviewing authors because it feels like a big obligation. Read my book and then interview me. It's like, dude, like the interview is kind of hard on its own, let alone read your book first. But every once in a while, I do try to interview authors, and I don't like to interview authors without reading their book. But Stephen had just reached out. Hey, like I respect you. I'd love it if you would just read this book and write the pre-review for it as it's being released in whatever January or whatever it is coming up real soon. And so read his book, and honestly, it's a fitting book for this conversation for this generation, because what it says is we have to stop the rat race. We have to stop trying to aim for work-life balance, and we have to find a way to find coherence or integration between our life, the real world, and our work, right? There is no one or the other. If you're failing at work, your home life is going to suffer. Your personal life is going to suffer. If you're struggling at home, you got family issues, you got, marital issues, whatever. Your work life and personal life is going to suffer. And if your health goes to shit, everything is going to suffer. And so he talks about we got into this weird paradigm where everybody's looking for work-life balance. There is no such thing. No. The only thing you can have and you maybe should aim for is coherence. And so I am going to plug his book. It's coming out, maybe you're seeing this in the future. It's literally called The Coherence. I want to say The Coherence Code. I gotta pull it up here quickly. But it's a really, really great book, Stephen Langer, and it talks very much on how to integrate coherence into your life and live a life that you're not fighting for balance all the time.
Well, what's interesting is these things obviously are always cycling through different feeds or whatnot. And I've been seeing one too, and it kind of falls in line with this is a lot of guys on the big stage are talking about, you don't know how many summers you have left. You don't know how many Christmases you have left, whether it's with a parent or it's with somebody else or even yourself, right? When you start to look at them and then you dial, it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, it doesn't matter. How many do we have left? And when you start to look at that and then you start to, with the coy phrase, like you said, work-life balance, I keep seeing an overlying statement of, you got to 10x it, you got to grind, you got to do this, and the rewards will be there, but will they? Right? You got to ask yourself, like, what reward are you looking for? Like, is that the reward you're looking for? Is the ultimate freedom a bank full of money? Is the ultimate freedom more time with your family? Is the ultimate freedom being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it? Right? I think the answer is different for everybody, but I'm starting to really look at what is that for me?
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I can tell you right now, it's not doing more.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's, as far as the grind, I could care less about the grind. I will work hard. I'll be diligent. I'll be strategic, but I have no ambition to let's 10x this thing just to make more money.
Yeah.
Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
Is that the real purpose? And not that we won't grow and we won't excel at what we do, but what's the real reason behind it? What's the authentic reason? Let's get real, get honest, get authentic, right? It's pretty simple when you do those three things.
One of the things that I've been really thinking about lately is doing more doesn't necessarily mean more success. And I think I've struggled with that because for a long time, I kind of thought, well, like, obviously, if I want to accomplish more, I have to do more. But there's a factor that we're not considering. And some things just take time. And no matter how hard you work at it, you can't shorten the time span that it takes to become successful, right? So it's like, for instance, let's take a podcast. I could start a new podcast for my podcasters looking to start here, and I could release 300 episodes in 300 days. And you know what? Yes, there would be a boost. But here's the thing. What's more impactful? A show that's been around for 300 days or a show that's been around for 10 years? It doesn't necessarily matter how many episodes. Sure, the more episodes you have, the more successful you're going to be. That is a simple truth fact. However, 300 episodes would still be more impactful, I think, over 3 years than it would be over 1 year. And there's no replacing that time. And not to mention, if you're putting out an episode a day, you are going to burn out like crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have to kind of look at, there's a certain thing, like, and Colin, I would use you maybe as a really great case study of somebody who has achieved much success and you did it in an appropriate amount of time. But could you have accomplished the same amount of success, do you think, in a much compressed timeline? I'm not sure, because you have to wait for things to happen. You have to wait for needs to happen. You guys can only sell so many trucks a year because there's only a demand for so many trucks a year. Not to mention, you can only manufacture so many trucks a year, right? So there's a certain timeline that everybody has to respect. And so maybe the argument that I'm making here is this. I think you guys can be successful whether you're putting 300 shows out a week or a year, or whether you're putting out, let's call it 100 shows out a year or 50 shows out a year. The important thing is that you just have to be in something long enough to win. And so there's no replacement for the time. And so my argument might be do 50 episodes and hang out with your family, as opposed to try to put out 100 or 150 episodes and miss everything.
I just like this quote. I wanted to share. Like every time I read it, it kind of moves. Even though I'm passionate about what I'm doing, I love a lot of things. I've worked long hours. I think we all have. Don't get me wrong, but I like this quote that from Jim Carrey. He said, like, I hope everybody could get rich and famous, and will have everything they ever dreamed of, so they will know that it's not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. Like the more it seems like every I don't want to be morbid, but it seems like everything I click on is, mental health or something like that, which is real, right? And I'm talking, on influencers, it's like you turn it on, another influencer, another movie star, another, and that's not saying the house 3 doors down. I don't know what's going on there. It's just what I see on my phone or, on the internet, but it's real. Right? What's pushing or what's making these things happen? Like, I'll just talk to myself is what makes me happy or what makes me unhappy. Very easy to see, right? When I'm going down a hole as fast as I can or going somewhere as fast as I can just to do more, because I have to beat last year or I have to beat last month or I have to, I have to. Maybe sometimes we have to stop the have tos. Maybe we have to, there I go again, maybe we have to.
Yeah.
we need a reason, right? And what is that reason? And it's very easy to get pulled, or like you said with podcasts, okay, I have to do this. This is how many I did last year. Well, you know what? Maybe the results will be twice as good if you do half as many next year. I don't know, right? I ran into a guy this morning at the gym. He has a podcast, and he said he did something like 150 podcasts last year or whatever. And he said he was on burnout.
Yes.
Right?
100%. Yeah.
He's also a principal in a school.
Yeah.
Right. And he's producing his shows. And that's the difference. You know, who's in your team or who's in your corner? Well, a lot of times we are the team, right? You are the producer. You are the one doing it. And so Kelly, like when you do, 2 shows a week or 2 podcasts a week and you produce them and you do it all, of course you can't do more. How could you? Right. Yeah. But if you did the speaking and you walked away and somebody else composed everything or did everything, right? It would be a whole lot different.
Sure. Yeah.
But what's the drive? The drive is to get there so you can hire those people to do that thing.
100%.
But then we're back in the wheel. We're the hamster in the cage.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other side too is that when I edit my show, it's my creativity. I make the cuts where they make sense for me. I tell the story the way that I want to tell the story, right? I think there's a lot of power in producing your own show. Like I've had a lot of people reach out and be like, well, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just hire somebody? It's like, first off, it's expensive. Second off, I can ultimately tell my story the way that I want to tell it. I think producing your own show is very powerful, but like you said, it's also time consuming. I am hopeful with a lot of the tools coming out over the next little bit, especially on the AI front, in shaving maybe hours off of the production itself, right? The little things like getting the voice right or EQing or removing background noise in a very quick and efficient way. Because right now, the problem is that processing a show takes a long time. By the time you run multiple plugins to clean up the voice, to make sure the sound is professional studio quality, it can take literal hours to process the file. And so a lot of the time in processing, all you're doing is waiting to do the next step. It's so if you can speed those things up, like process the audio instantly, get that file instantly, you could essentially shave a lot of time off. So my hope is that all of these AI things coming out, that they can start to shave hours off of the waiting to do the next step. And I think that's where we're going. So I am hopeful that in the next little bit, it'll be better than it was. Okay, here's something to think about. So I heard yesterday on a podcast, I had a lot of windshield time yesterday driving. A guy was referring to another guy that I have heard, and I had ordered courses from back in the days of CDs, and he had said, if you can hire somebody, we all know this, right? If you can hire somebody to do it 80% as good as you think you're doing it, not as good as you're doing it, as you think you're doing it, you'll be fine. You'll be surprised how good you are. He said, you know what? He took it from John Maxwell, who said 80%. And he goes, you know what? They looked at their corporation and said, what is slowing them down? And they said the number one thing in every department was because nobody can do it as good as me. And I need to, like you said, I need to cut this and do it the way from my perspective. And he said he pushed the envelope to 70%. If I can find somebody that can do it 70%. And he said their trajectory, right? Just freeing up people's time and what they're doing has proven itself out. So right now we're in the process of hiring somebody more or less to replace what I'm doing. Had some great interviews. And you know what? Why we haven't hired yet, we will soon, is because of me. I have to get past myself. I'm not as good as I think I am, right? Only in my own head. And I know that, but I still have that fear. What if this doesn't happen? Right? What if they don't do this the way I think they should do it? Well, guess what? What if they do it better? And they probably will. So I'm speaking to myself when I look at it and go, okay, how do I, when I'm doing the interview or when I'm trying to really figure out who these people are, probably way better than I am. Right? It's just a matter of me getting over myself. I have to get over myself. And here's the funny part. I'm going through that process to create more time, right? More balance. But who am I stuck on? Me. I'm still stuck on me. Yeah, right? Yeah. But I would also argue that you are exceptional at what you do.
Well, thank you.
And they might not replace you, and they might not be able to close as much business as you. And that
Right.
is just a fact.
Well, and that's the fear, right?
Yeah. But here, how about this though? You work like 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Probably 4. I'm sure if we dig deep enough, 4. You do a lot being the other side of it, right?
True.
And so like the reality is you could probably make it on any one of those things well. And yet you do 4 things, let's call it, right? So the argument could also be, is there one or two of those things that takes up your time that doesn't need to?
That's right. Well, that's where Vijay comes in, because he's creating the AI website for real estate for me. And that's no joke, right? That's part of it. That is if I can integrate those things into my businesses, that takes the human element, not in a bad way, right? There's a lot of preliminary work, that type of thing in every business you have to do. I think I excel best at being the closer, right? It's like watching baseball, which, a lot of us are watching right now, is bringing the closing pitcher, right? What happens if there's an entire team getting you to that point in the game where that closer has to come in, right? Or, the pinch hitter, whatever it may be. So I'm trying to look at things that way. You're right. And the only thing, I'll use my real estate business, holding me back from doing more and doing it better or cleaner is because I never embraced the AI agent, right? I never embraced that portion of it. I'm still the old pen and paper and let's get at this. Nobody can do it as good as me. But at least Vijay can say, no, he's going down the right road. Vijay, I did connect my Calendly this morning.
Perfect. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
My
set it up for you.
Both my brothers spent like their whole lives in like the trades, right? It's like construction industry, things like that. I was like explaining to them because we were at that old folks home, and I found myself like in the room with my dad in this like stale, basically hospital room. Like, let's get real. When you're in like an old folks home, it might as well be a bloody hospital room. Like they're somewhat nice, but like I was like, why is there not like a chat GPT chatbot in here to talk with my dad? And I was explaining this to the lady at the counter. I'm like, they make chatbots now that are like almost exactly like people. I talk to my chat GPT all the time. It's incredible. Why do you guys not have this as a service in this? She's like, well, I don't even know what that is. I was like, holy cow, like medical healthcare industry. If in your old folks' homes, we need to have AI chatbots for these aging parents. Let's get real. Like a lot of these people are alone a lot of the time. Their kids are like us. They can't get there every day to visit their aging parent. And a lot of these people are sitting in basically a stale hospital room. I'm sure they're making the argument, well, they wouldn't know what to do, but just make it so all they have to do is ask it a question or say something.
I gotta send you guys a video after this, and I will. I just sent it to my wife and my kids yesterday, and it was Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you listen to Gary at all. He's proven out mostly what he goes after or what he would call a prediction happens. He said in 2026, more money is going to be made from people taking other people for walks, like people like your dad, whoever it may be, right? People need that physical touch, or that well-being, that there's somebody there. And they said they're going to put the phone down, right? They're getting to the point where they're going to go, you know what? How did I ever get to this point in my life where I can't have 1 hour where I'm not stuck to, I have to check the phone? And then they talked about how it was called vibration, fear of like FOMO almost, but it was with a phone. It said people actually have a vibration issue where they actually feel like my phone vibrated and they check their phone and there's no one there.
Totally. I've had that happen. Yeah, right? 100%.
And they said the 2026 will be the year where people make money by, I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to take, this sounds wrong. I'm going to take Vijay for a walk.
Yeah.
Right. But he's going to pay me to do it because somebody just needs to interact and talk with people. And I thought, that is amazing. That actually is amazing. Like maybe we've got to the point where we need to scale it back a little bit. But I was sending it to my kids because I'm like, I always tell them, don't get stuck in the 8 to 4:30 or the 9 to 5. Like maybe look outside the box. I don't like that cliche. It's cliche, but it's real.
Yeah.
And so I sent it to them. I'm like, hey, maybe you'll be taking people for walks and they'll pay you for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Very possible.
I don't know. It's not a bad way to go.
No,
right?
no. And you're like, please,
Stop.
please take me for walks when I'm old.
That's what I meant to say. Or now. That'd
be great too. Yeah.
Right.
I think AI is going to be amazing. And I think the people-to-people connection is not going to disappear at all. And especially in many people's lives, for people who have already passed away or whom they cannot reach to or talk to, or maybe they lost their speech or something like that, even if they have 2-minute or 3-minute clip of theirs, I'll be happy to do it for anyone. Like put it on a phone number and then give it to them. Go talk to your uncle, or go talk to your grandmom, or grandfather, whatever.
Here's where AI, though, like, I don't think we're taken away from it. Like you're saying is, any of these situations, AI is going to be the one that connects people, right? Because right now, somebody like my dad, he doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know who to call, right? Yeah. But if somebody like in those homes presented them with an option, here is an option, right? Mm-hmm. And these are vetted processes, but there could be somebody there for them. There's a situation in real estate I'm dealing with right now. There's a home where a fella passed away. It's in this mountain town, and all these people would love to buy this house. There is no contacts. People go, oh, that guy, right? Oh, yeah. The power's still on in the house. The house still has heat. Must have been on auto pay. All the bills are getting paid. We've tried to contact the bank, and they're like, well, the house is paid for, right? Went through the whole titling process and everything. Well, he's passed away, and it's not that easy to find people, right? Like there has to be some type of AI or something that can join us together or whatever. But how did that guy go his entire life in that? They figured he lived there 20 years. Nobody really knows him. They know his name.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway,
I have a little guy come to visit.
That's okay.
Hey, bring him on. Let him be the fourth co-host.
Bring him in, Kelly.
That's right.
Bring him on.
Come here, Jet. Come here.
Where is he?
Oh, he's right there.
Yeah, he's hiding.
Well, anyway,
he likes to go into the nook.
He knew the timer was off.
That's right. Dad, he's like, Daddy, it's done. Get out of there.
So anyway,
it's done.
Well, guys, it's time. Hey, Vijay, you want to finish it up? You got anything more?
I'll wrap it up. Hey, everyone tuning in, thank you so much. I think this was a different episode. I hope you enjoyed it. This is what it is. This is how it gets real. We are all people here. We're humans, by the way. Mm-hmm. Hello. Yeah. So this is what it is. So, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for tuning in. See you next week, guys. Bye.
Give your dads hugs today, guys.
Yeah. And one last thing is the world doesn't need more filters. It needs more truth. Yeah. That's what it needs. So there was no 100%. Filter here today. It was just authentic and real. So thank you guys, and hustlers out.
Later, hustlers.
Bye.